Um, Slope-intercept form, we've already talked about. Again, if you forget, it's on the yellow sign up there. It's y equals mx plus b. Everyone remember what parallel means?
Like they're
The same.
parallel
Like
railroad
straight
tracks.
line.
Railroad tracks.
Like,
Never intersect. Right. Now there is such a thing, you guys gotta put your iPads away, as lines that never intersect but are not parallel. You do more of them next year in geometry. Those are called skew lines. We don't really need them for algebra, but anyone think of an example of two lines that never intersect but are not parallel? Huh? There's
Like in
examples
real life?
in this room, yeah.
lines that curve.
Nope, because lines don't curve.
Connect.
They can't intersect.
Yeah.
Parallel, but nope.
No arrow.
They're not parallel, but they don't intersect.
They
I don't know.
are not
Yes.
parallel.
Like,
Look at
like-
lines in this room. See any lines that don't intersect but are not parallel?
They intersect.
Hunter, they're parallel.
Hunter's kind of correct.
I was talking about the big light thing.
Still the same thing.
Where are these lines?
I'll give you a hint. You could use like one of these grid lines here. Any one of them. But obviously it can't be this one and that one. They're perpendicular. Can't be these two. They're parallel.
Could be like that one. Wait, never mind.
Could be the down and Huh?
Wait, that one and that one because they don't talk.
You're kind of right.
The edge.
This is confusing.
You're kind. The corner.
Yeah.
You're kind of right. Yeah.
Covered thing.
You guys, you got to look on different planes. Remember, planes are flat surface.
Yeah.
Take this line here, and this line here.
I was thinking that, but I thought.
They'll never intersect. This one's running this way down here. This one's running this way up here.
Oh.
So one's going this way. The other one's coming like this underneath it. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. But again, we don't need to do that for algebra. But if lines are parallel, if you graphed lines like we're doing now, graphing lines, if they're parallel, how can you tell on the graph that they're parallel? I mean, looking at numbers.
Same
Same what?
degree.
Degree, but we don't call it degree.
Same slope?
Same slope. Same slope. If they're parallel, they're going to have the same slope. So some of them, you're going to have equations and they're going to ask you if they're parallel. You don't have to graph them. All you got to do is look at their slopes. If you had the equation y equals 2x minus 10 and y equals 2x plus 50, these are parallel because they have the same slope. Same slope means they go up at the same angle or same degree, so they'll never intersect. Okay? So that's what we're doing today. It's pretty simple. Remember, the easiest way to tell what the slope is to write them into slope-intercept form. So this one pretty much is slope-intercept form. All they do is, those aren't in the mx plus b form. It's y equals, usually they put the x first, so it'd be negative 2x. And then that's a 5 with no sign in front of it, which means it's plus 5. So, the slope is negative 2. The y-intercept is 5. You could have looked at it and just told that though right away without actually writing it down. Now this one, remember, if you divide the whole thing by 3, that means you got to divide them both by 3. So, x over 3, you could write it x over 3, but it's the same as 1/3 x. You guys all remember that? X over 3 is 1/3 x. Or you could write it like this, 1x over 3. These three things all mean the same thing. And then negative 2 over 3, we would just leave it negative 2/3 because it won't reduce. So the slope is 1/3. The intercept is negative 2/3. Here it is in slope-intercept form, except there's no x in there. So what would you put if there's nothing there? 0. So if you actually wrote it out, it'd be y equals 0x plus 13. So the slope is 0. intercept is 13. Now on this one, this is the one kind of like what we're doing today and what we did yesterday. You gotta get the y by itself, so we gotta move this over. So it turned to negative 2.2x plus 0. But then there's still a negative 4.4y, right? So you gotta divide everything by negative 4.4. So it would be y equals negative over negative is positive. You know what that makes?
6.6.
If it was flipped around, it'd be 2. What? 1/2? Yeah, this is half of that, so it's 1/2 x plus 0 divided by anything is 0. So the slope is 1/2, the intercept is 0. Okay, so what we're gonna be doing is you're gonna be given a couple of lines and you gotta just figure out if they're parallel or not. In this case, there's 3 lines. They're wondering which ones are parallel. So what do you gotta check to see if they're parallel? Slope. Now, none of these are written out. Sometimes they are, sometimes they aren't. So all I gotta do here to get the y by itself is move this over. So this would change from minus to plus 2x plus 4. So this slope is 2. Here I'd have to move the x over. So it'd be 2y equals negative x. It would change from plus to minus x plus 6. Then I gotta divide by 2. So what would this slope be? Negative x over 2 is? What would the slope be? What's the number that's, huh? Right, remember if there's no number in front of x, that means it's a 1. So the slope would be negative 1/2. So obviously these two are not parallel. So for this one, move the 8x over. I would have negative 4y equals, this would change from positive to negative 8x plus 5. Divide everything by negative 4. And I get y equals negative 8 over negative 4 is positive 2x. That would be minus 5/4, or 1.25. But all we're worried about is the slope, which is 2. So, which lines are parallel? A and C. So when you write it down, you would just say A parallel to C like that.
Why is it like B? Oh.
Yep, B is not the same slope. B actually would be perpendicular to it. Perpendicular lines have opposite signs and they're reciprocals of each other. But we're not doing perpendicular. Okay. All right, decide whether these are parallel. Here, this work's done for you, the y is by itself. So which one of these numbers is the slope? Right, the number in front of the x. Here, I gotta get the y by itself, so I move this over. It'd be y equals negative 2x, it would change from plus to minus, plus 0. So this slope is also negative 2, so you just put yes. Here, I would split this up, it'd be y equals x over 3 minus 2 over 3. So the slope of this is 1/3. If there's no number in front of x, put a 1 there. This one, I would have to move the x over, so I'd get 6y equals, this would change to minus 2x plus 12. Divide by 6. And negative 2 over 6 is negative 1/3 x, plus 12 over 6 is 2. So are they parallel?
Yeah.
Are they parallel? Close, but one's positive, which means it goes up. One's negative, which means it goes down. They're not the same. So that is all we're doing today, is yes or no's.